I just realized I wasn't added to the stream, so um, like I said, I'm still getting the hang of this. There we go. So I was just pretty much talking. I hope you guys can hear me out there because I definitely can't hear myself. All right, I hear myself now. So I pretty much was saying, I'll just repeat what I was saying. So I pretty much was saying that tonight is Martin Luther King Day, and we had a very captivating show, stuff that we never seen before, matches that we always wanted that have happened. I mean, just refreshing content. I was also saying they had a very beautiful tribute to Martin Luther King, which I really appreciate them doing that. What else did we have tonight? We had Becky Lynch come out and open the show, and tonight tonight's Raw was different. Tonight's Raw was it had its good parts and it had its bad parts, and you could tell what parts were good and what parts was bad by the way that the audience was reacting. Outside of that, we're gonna go ahead and get this show started. Like I said, guys, I'm still getting used to this, so I'm trying to get better at live streaming. So tonight we open up the show with Becky Lynch. She comes out. She's the Raw Women's Champion, as we all know, and she's pretty much saying the division is hot because of her. I'm not sure what division she's talking about because the women's division is trash. The women's division consists of nobody really outside of a couple names. Uh, it's time to merge the women's division together. It's time to merge the tag team division together because we don't have anything. There's nothing. There's nothing there. There's no division. You have the same match. You have the same people over and over again because either they've released people. They don't want to give people the time. Give people the the time to go out there and show what they can do. It's the same big people: Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, Sasha. No, I love Bianca and Sasha, but it's still the same people. Oscar when she's back, Bailey when she comes back. They're burying Rhea Ripley. Like you'd have thought Rhea was backstage cussing people out and taking stuff and stealing stuff from people the way that they're doing her. Anyway, she comes out after she says that she starts to talk about how Doudrop is going to be a star because she's facing Becky Lynch, and she pretty much is trying to hype up their match that nobody's interested in seeing. I know that I'm not. I'm sure you guys aren't. I'm just not interested in seeing Doudrop. First of all, I hate her name. I wish they would go back to her other name, which is Piper. Um, she comes out. Doudrop comes out to complete silence. It was like that was the silence as she walks to the ring. That's all you heard. You literally probably, if you were there, you probably would have been hearing somebody else's conversation outside of her music. She she people are not interested in her. People are not interested in what she has to bring to the table. People are just not interested. I don't know what she did in NXT UK. I don't really care. Her name is dumb. They teamed her up with Eva Marie, which I'm so glad she's gone. They had that stupid ass storyline. Um, people just aren't interested. So she comes into the ring and she just basically lets Becky know you made a big mistake by helping me win the match and facing me because I'm going to take that title off you. Blah blah blah. The same stuff everybody always says. And then Becky was like, I'll pretty much help you get another victory tonight. Out comes Bianca. In the midst of them talking, out comes Bianca. The crowd comes alive. So clearly we know who the star of the women's division for Monday Night Raw is. Because once Bianca came out, and also once Liv came out, the crowd came back a lot, came back alive. Everybody was asleep during the first part. They have a terrible problem with doing repetitive things. They always open the show up. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get the same routine. You're going to get somebody coming out, talking, somebody's going to interrupt, somebody else is going to interrupt. They're either going to attack each other, or the segment's going to be over, or it's going to turn into a match like this did tonight. Bianca came out and pretty much let her know that she's entering the Royal Rumble. And when she gets the victory, she'll be facing Becky again in the main event for the second time in a row. I don't see them giving Bianca the Royal Rumble 2 times in a row. It wouldn't bother me because I like Bianca. She's a star, so that wouldn't bother me. I do think the Rumble needs to go to Naomi. I'll probably keep on saying that until the actual final four are in the ring. And if Naomi's not in the ring, then I'll figure out somebody else that needs to win. But I think that they need to give the Rumble to Naomi. It should have been Sasha, but Sasha's out hurt. Give it to Naomi. The fans will love it. As she's, talking, she's letting Becky know she's scared to face her and things like that. Out comes Liv, who he's also said she's going to enter the Rumble. And the segment was boring. The segment was trash. Doudrop pretty much told everybody to shut up and told the referee to ring the bell. That probably was the best part of the segment. The match went on. The segment in total was 18 minutes. The match itself was about 5 or 6 minutes. So that should tell you pretty much how they still feel about the women's division. You have two of the biggest stars in the company, Becky Lynch and Bianca, in the ring, and they're doing an 18-minute overall segment, including the match, and them talking, and their interests were longer than the actual match itself. To me, that's a problem. I don't know anybody that's excited about that. I don't know how you can build a match. That's nothing exciting. That's nothing exciting at all. It's sad. The women's division is in shambles. The women's tag team division is one team, and the men's tag team division is in shambles. It's really, really sad. So I'm sure I could book better matches on 2K. Then we have a weird backstage segment with Edge and Beth, and they're talking to Dana and Reggie, Dana Brooke, and Reggie about facing almost whatever his name is. And then it goes from Beth and Edge to Beth, Edge, and Damian Priest. And then Damian's asking for advice on how he could win the Rumble because Edge won the Rumble last year. He entered number 1 to number 30. And then Beth gets a letter from some random person about Maurice wanting to meet her in the ring one-on-one. And then they go towards the ring. It was weird. And then Kevin Owens came out the blue, and him and Damian were talking about the match they're supposed to have, and they were saying the match needs to be clean. And then Kevin walked out to do his show. I don't know, it was like they just threw a bunch of people in to like get everybody on camera. Like it was like it didn't make any sense. So Kevin Owens comes out to do the KO show, and he talks about, and his guest is his best friend, Seth Freakin Rollins. And I would not be saying Seth Freakin Rollins throughout this video. His name will be Seth Rollins, Seth or Rollins. He comes out, and it's pretty much hype up the match between Seth and Roman on SmackDown, because they don't have any SmackDown people to go against Roman at Royal Rumble. So they bring over a Raw superstar who lost the number 1 contendership match and also lost the actual title match at the previous pay-per-view. So they randomly put their hand in a jar, picked out a name, and said, we're going to go with this person. So hopefully you guys can understand that, how that doesn't make any sense. KO also enters himself into the Rumble. So now I enter into the Rumble. I will be entering myself into the Royal Rumble on both the men's and women's side because everybody else is entering the Rumble, and you guys will see me main event WrestleMania. I have not decided who I want to go against yet. So Seth enters KO enters the Rumble. I lost my train of thought. KO enters the Rumble, and then he tells Seth, when you win the title, we're going to have the greatest match of all time between me and you. I don't need to see a Seth and KO feud. We just saw it, 2 years ago? It's been 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years already since their match at Royal Rumble. At WrestleMania when the pandemic first started. I actually was at the last pay-per-view before the pandemic started, which was Elimination Chamber in Philly. And I saw the match, the setup for the match. It was fine. They're both great wrestlers. We don't need to see it. I got a feeling we are going to see it because last time they did it, there was no crowd. So I just have a feeling that a lot of stuff that we thought was over, we'll probably end up seeing again because when things took place, there were no crowds. So I guess they're trying to get back to having those matches in front of crowds like they were originally supposed to be. But I don't know anybody that has a desire to see Seth versus KO again. I don't. Just like as great as it is, I don't need to see Seth. I don't need to see KO versus Sami Zayn again. As great as they are together in the ring, as much as they, compliment each other, I don't need to see it again. As KO's talking, Damian Priest comes out, who has a match with KO, and he pretty much tells Seth, no one believes that you're going to win the match, and informs, he's going to win his match against Roman Reigns in about a week from this Saturday. He also comes out and he pretty much tells KO that their match starts right now. To me, this was the match of the night. This was an excellent match. I would like to see a feud between them. I could actually see them at WrestleMania. I think what they did tonight on a bigger stage would be even better. And I could see KO winning the title because he did pin the champ tonight, which is crazy because Damian has not lost since he's had that championship, but all of a sudden they start pinning him tonight. But anyway, I could see that because I don't see them giving KO the world title anytime soon. So I definitely can see him getting some kind of either another tag team title or a United States, a mid-card title, because I don't think they see him as a main event star for some reason. Now I could be totally wrong, and I hope that I am wrong, but I just don't think they see him like that. Which is sad because he's really, it's Kevin Owens. You just like what I said about Sami Zayn, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong at all. Up next, we have Alpha Academy graduation ceremony. As Alpha Academy enters the ring, WWE loves to do the same thing over and over, and it irritates me. It will continue to irritate me. I will have to continue to deal with it as long as I watch this programming. But I hate it when somebody's out in the ring, the music is playing, they go to commercial break, they come back from commercial break, they do a segment here, a segment here, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's right, we have somebody in the ring waiting for us. And they're sitting in the ring looking stupid, waiting for their part to come up. Now, I'm sure when you're there in the audience, you don't know it, but from being at home, it's super annoying. I can't remember if they were doing it when I was going to the events or if I even noticed it, but at home, it irritates me. And it's like they just really started doing it, and they've been doing it a lot, and I wish they would stop. So the backstage after the commercial break, they come backstage and we have a segment with Nikki Trash, and she's pretty much talking about her match with Rhea. We don't care. In the ring is Alpha Academy, and we're in the ring because Chad Gable wants to present Otis as valedictorian at the F Academy because he defeated Arcade Bro. He got the pin on Randy Orton to win the tag team championships. He's giving his speech and he said, what did he was like, something that made me chuckle. He was like, yeah, 4.0, I got my master's degree. And then they started booing. He was like, don't boo education. That's gross. That just made me laugh. I think so. I got on it. I didn't like it at first. I didn't like the gimmick at first. I was like, they could do something else with it. I also didn't give it time. I've given it time. And I think that he is excelling in this role. He's great in this role. We already know he's a great wrestler, but he's really owning this role that he has. Him and Otis, Chad Gable. And as Gable started, excuse me, I think Otis was talking. Otis or Gable was talking. One of them was talking. Riddle comes out with his cape on and his robe and things like that, and he pretty much wants to give a speech and kind of congratulates them for winning. And Gable pretty much was like, shut up. Are you out here for a rematch? And Matt, because that's the name we know him by, Matt Riddle, pretty much is like, yeah, I want my rematch. I'm not going to turn down the rematch. And Gable says you can have a rematch if you can if you can pass a aptitude test against us. Otis had this look on his face like, oh shit, I'm too stupid for this. So this should be good stuff next week. As Riddle starts to kind of run down Otis jumps out the ring to get ready to go attack Riddle. From behind comes Randy Orton. He hits the RKO. The crowd is loving it. Gable sells his ass off for this. And then as they roll out the ring, and it's crazy because Otis is like standing up and Gable's kind of like leaning on him. And Randy throws on the cape and he throws on the robe and he yells through the microphone, "We accept." And then Gable like falls to the floor. So I'm in a weird space with this because I love what these teams are doing with each other. But then the other part of me wants them to break up Riddle and Randy because I know that that's going to be the match at WrestleMania. But I kind of don't want it to happen right now because they have really I think got to the core of this feud and it's great TV. It's probably like one of the best things on the entire in the entire company. Because I don't know anybody else that's having great work like this. Yeah, I don't know anybody else that's having great work like this. We move on. We have a backstage segment with Austin Theory, and he's talking to Vince McMahon. And I've said this before. I think I said it last week. I'm interested to see where this story is going to go. Is Austin going to win the Rumble? I don't know if he's ready for that. But something important is going to be happening with him because why else would he be having all these segments with Vince McMahon? And so it's just interesting. And I like Austin Theory. I know the first time they brought him up, they really couldn't figure out his kind of like placement. So they brought him back down to the old NXT, and then they brought him back up. And I think he's been knocking it out the park since then. So I'm just interested to see where they're going to head to with him once the Rumble start, like where are they going to go? What is going to be his story pretty much for the next couple months? I think Mania is in April, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with him for the next two and a half months. So as he's talking to Vince, he's pretty, as he's talking to Vince is pretty much like, you need to beat Finn. It's a TV with Finn as the winner from that match last month. And he's pretty much like, you need to beat Finn or I'm going to do like all these like gory, crazy things to him, pretty much fuck him up. And Austin has this look of concern on his face, like, if I don't win, is he really going to do this stuff to me? So he goes out there and they have really, really, seems like a quick match. I seemed like I blinked and then the match was over. I'm also curious on what they're going to do with Finn at Mania. I don't think he was on last year's Mania. I can't remember, but last year Mania wasn't that memorable outside of a couple of matches. So I don't know. And I like Finn Balor. I wish they would give him a bigger push, but I don't run a company. If I did run a company, we'll have excellent TV. The match between him um, happens. Austin wins, takes his picture with him. That's his gimmick, and then beats him up some more. Then takes his takes another picture with him. So, like I say, I'm curious about where those two will end up in the next 2.5 months, whenever time the Mania is coming around. The next match we have is Rhea versus Nikki. Trash. Nikki listen, between Nikki and Doudrop, I don't know who the crowd was more dead for. When I tell you again, it was absolutely silence. Absolute silence. Absolute silence. um, and this segment gets worse because out comes the women's tag team champions, and they have so much competition. I'm not sure why they keep facing them when they have all these other teams they can go and face. What's her name? Queen Zelina and Carmella, and they're pretty much talking trash on Nikki and saying Rhea can't do it by herself or the team wasn't going to last long. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't like I said earlier. I don't know what Rhea has done. I say the same thing about Shayna Baszler, but why have we not pushed Rhea? She was the champion, and then all of a sudden she lost it, and that's it. It was once Charlotte came back, Rhea was an afterthought. I I don't know. Don't know what happened. I have no idea. The match never got started. Nikki attacks Rhea, throws her into the steps. So I guess we'll see a lot of these feuds take place inside the actual Rumble itself. So I guess we'll see who's going to throw who over. I just, I I'm trying to come up with something. I have nothing. The next match we have is almost versus Reggie. Almost wins. Next, we have a segment with Maurice and Beth Phoenix. This is what I was saying earlier when she got the letter. So pretty much, Maurice wants to do a face-to-face, a one-on-one with Beth to try to convince her they don't need to do the match. Maurice was in the ring and she was like, we helped build this division. We helped make it what it is today. We help the women that are main event in WrestleMania. That was pretty much on our shoulders. We could be best friends. We could be a BFS. Our girls could play together. We don't need to have this match. And I don't know the last time Maurice has wrestled. I probably wasn't watching, but I remember Beth wrestling, and I know what Beth is capable of. And from what I've seen, it's not really a fair matchup. I'm sure she'll get some offense because that's just the way it goes, but we don't really think that Beth is going to lose to Maurice, do we? It was an okay segment for what it was. So she, like I said, she's trying to convince her not to have the match. Beth pretty much gets on the mic and she's like, "Shut up. The match is going to go on. I would never be your friend. The match will go on. I can't wait to glam slam you through the canvas. And matter of fact, let's give people a preview right now." She gets into the ring and the Miz, the camera pins back to Edge, and the Miz is beating up on Edge. And Maurice comes into the ring. She has a purse, And I didn't think anything of it at first. I was like, maybe she was just rushing or something like that. I didn't think anything of it. So as Beth is distracted by Miz attacking Edge, Maurice hits Beth from behind, and she falls down to the ground. Edge rushes into the ring. Maurice rolls out the ring, runs up the ramp with the Miz, and we learn that inside of her purse was an actual brick, not like a play brick, but an actual brick. So I'm like, well, damn, okay, okay. So again, they're trying to hype up their match. I'm not interested in seeing the match. I am ready for Edge to move on to AJ Styles. I will keep on saying that until it happens. I'm going to keep putting that in the out there in the air in the community. I hope that everybody else feels the same way because as I've said time and time again, I'll probably say next week we need to be building up big matches for WrestleMania. We have 2 nights, and I think there'll probably be about 6 matches on each card, if I'm not mistaken. One of those 6 matches needs to be Edge versus AJ Styles. As simple as that. We move on to the backstage segment with the Street Profits and Dominic and Ray. And also, if you've been on Twitter today, and if you're a gamer, which I am, I'll actually be streaming some stuff when this comes out. We learn unofficially that Rey Mysterio is actually the cover star for 2K, WWE 2K, coming out, I think, March 8th, and March 8th for pre-order March 8th for deluxe, and March 11th for the actual non-deluxe version. So, excuse me, we'll be interested to see if that continues with the same marketing because, like I said, it was unofficial news today. They actually had the big announcement coming on the 20th, so 3 days from now. So what's that? Thursday? They'll have the announcement. I was hoping we would get something sooner, but we waited all this time. I honestly don't care who the cover star is. I saw the cover. It's a very good cover. I honestly don't care. I just want the game to work. But I'll share that thoughts on another video. Anyway, they're having a 8-man tag match randomly between the Street Profits, Ray and Dominic versus Commander Aziz, Apollo Crews, and the Dirty Dogs, which consist of Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. It was a good match. The crowd was definitely into it. The crowd was into 3 matches tonight. They were into this match, they were into the main event, and they were into Damian Priest and Kevin Owens. That was it on a 3-hour show. Yeah, I'm glad the crowds are back because they're letting us know. Even though it's not going to change anything, but they're letting Vince and Nick and Bruce know what's good and what's not good. Dominic, Ray, and the Street Profits win the match. Montez does his crazy frog splash on Apollo. They win the match. I have a strange feeling, and I think it's too early. I feel like they're going to kind of start to show tension between the Street Profits for some reason. I just feel that way, and I don't want that to happen because I like them together, and I feel like Montez will go on to do bigger things, but I don't know. I just don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen at all. As the match is over, they're celebrating. Ray and Dominic throw over the Street Profits, and then Dominic isn't paying attention, so Ray ends up throwing over Dominic, which I can see. Ray doesn't want this to happen, but we as the fans do, and I understand why he doesn't want it to happen because that's actually his real son. I could see them setting up a match for them at WrestleMania or something. I just could see that happening. But it's interesting because I feel like Ray is about to get a lot of attention because he is the cover star and because he's going to have his own showcase. That's the rumors. That's the unofficial rumors. But I mean, we saw it, so I wish I had my allegedly signed, but we saw it. Next, they do a segment where they look back at Brock and Bobby, kind of a look back, but also kind of comparing their careers together and how much similarity they have together. And I have to say that the company really does produce great documentaries. They really do produce great, promo packages. So that was a really, really good one. After that, we had the Alexa Bliss segment where she's back in therapy again, or I should say not again, but more so where they left off from last week. I just, as much as I don't want this to happen, but because the company loves her so much, I feel like she's going to win the Rumble. And we don't want her to win the Rumble because just like Charlotte, they're going to give her a match anyway. There's certain people in the company you're like, why are you even giving them the chance to win the Rumble? Because all you have to do is just put them in the match because y'all have been doing it for so long. I was watching somebody else on YouTube and they were saying that the Rumble is built for this. The Rumble is built to build new stars. Look what it did for Bianca. So, but I just feel like they're going to give it to her, and I don't want her to win. I want Naomi to win, but I don't think they're going to give it to Naomi. I could see them giving it to Alexa, but I'm going to keep putting it out there that they need to give it to Naomi. Naomi needs to win the Rumble. Naomi needs to win the Rumble. Naomi needs to win the Rumble. All right. Now we move on to the final segment, which is the main event between Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley. And I was really hoping that we were going to get a segment tonight from Paul Heyman and MVP. I've been waiting for that ever since MVP and Bobby Lashley got together and he started doing like most of the talking for him. And I realized how good MVP is on the microphone. So I've been waiting for that. So maybe we'll get that next week when they have this weigh-in. But I really thought that was a missed opportunity that really would have added something else more to the show and a little bit more to the match, even though the match doesn't really need anything because it's built itself, but it would add just a little bit more in my personal opinion. So Bobby comes out, Seth comes out. It's weird because yeah, it was an excellent, great match until the end. But neither one of them could lose. So it was also bad booking because Bobby has a match that he's going into facing the champion, and Seth has a match that he's going into facing the champion. And they both need to look strong. I wouldn't have booked the match. I would have did the segment of MVP versus Paul Heyman, on the microphone or something like that. I don't think I would have booked that. I know I wouldn't have booked that segment because of what's at stake for it. And you don't want neither one of them looking like losers. So I wouldn't have did it. But anyway, so they do what they always do. They have a fuck finish. And like I said, the crowd was really into it. Seth was taking Bobby to the limit. Bobby was taking Seth to the limit. And then was Bobby about to win? I think Bobby was about to win or something. He was about to go for one of his moves. The old members of the Hurt Business, Cedric and Shelton, come out and they attack Bobby Lashley. And then Bobby gets the upper hand on them, and then he spears Shelton through the barricades. And as we looking, so Seth is looking in shock, like, I just took this man to the limits. How is he back on his feet? He truly is a monster. Out the crowd comes the Usos, and they did what they couldn't do last Friday. Remember when SmackDown was on Thursday nights? It was also when it was on Tuesday nights, it was real good. Now that was when SmackDown was good. Them Tuesday night SmackDowns, that's when it was good. They came out and they attacked Seth Rollins. They super kicked him, and that was kind of the end of the show. Then they start to hype up stuff that's happening next week, which is the go home show. Is next week the go home show? Let me look at my calendar. Maybe I can't look at my calendar right now, but I think next week is the. Oh yes, I can. Let's see. Yep. So next week is the go home show because the Rumble is on the 29th. Wow, January is almost over. It was a decent show. It's better than SmackDown, which is crazy because SmackDown is normally the better show. But like I said, lately SmackDown has been really bad. I don't know what they're gonna do with Shelton and Cedric. Feeling in me like they're gonna get released soon. I don't understand why they're not in the tag team division fighting for the titles. I don't understand why the Hurt Business is not together. It should never been broken up. But you have Shelton and Cedric involved in these segments, which now that I think about it, I feel like a couple things could happen at the Rumble. I feel like Shelton and Cedric could help Bobby lose. Excuse me, help Brock win the match by attacking Bobby. But then I feel like Roman and the Usos could attack Brock so he could lose and set up their thing. I don't know, it's weird, but that was tonight's show. It was okay for the most part. I'll be doing some more videos later this week. I'll be doing a SmackDown review, and I'll be doing a 2K review. Hopefully, we'll get some really good information, more than what we got previously. Raw was decent. It's nothing to rave about outside of those 3 matches, which I could actually go back and watch those matches again. Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing KO and Damian Priest again. Seth Rollins and Bobby were good. Was a good match. I would have did it under different circumstances. Like if it was like if they didn't have anything, going for them. Outside of that, this company needs a lot of work. I don't know how they can't see that, or if they do see it but just don't care. And we are now in WrestleMania season. When January starts, we're officially in WrestleMania season. WrestleMania is supposed to be your biggest show. How do we get there? We only have one match, maybe 2 matches that we know are going to happen, maybe 3. Brock and Roman is Roman. Brock and Roman are going to happen. Bianca and Becky is going to happen. Sasha and Charlotte might happen depending on what goes on at the Rumble. That's it. But we'll talk about that when that time gets here. We'll focus on the Rumble, and I'll do some predictions next week on who I think should win and why they should win. Outside of that, I want to thank you all again. I want to thank my 36 subscribers, which I'm very happy about and very thankful about. I just started this channel 15 days ago, and I'm loving the progress that I'm getting on this channel. And this is probably my longest video yet. So the nerves and stuff are over. It's just more so about getting the correct setup and things like that. But I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I want to thank my subscribers. I want to thank my future subscribers. And everybody enjoy their night. Like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I want to thank everybody. Just in case you forgot what I was saying. Like, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on. Over in a little corner somewhere on the screen, you'll see like the little thing. Up here, you'll see comment, subscribe, like, comment, click on the thing down there. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. See you when 2K comes out, the preview that is, and then I'll see you guys Friday night for SmackDown. Peace.